They've ridden off into the sunset, right? Wrong. Listen, things don't happen as cleanly as you think it does. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what your ex is usually feeling when they realize that you're finally gone. What's going on, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the Rebound Journal. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about what your ex is feeling when they realize that you're finally gone. Why do you care about this? You know, sometimes it just feels nice, right? It just feels nice to know that someone has some type of remorse. They have some type of regret for putting your emotions through the ringer and you feeling like, you know what, because of this relationship ending. What makes me qualified to talk about this? I've coached over 1,000 people over the course of my career. I've been doing this for almost a decade. And I can tell you that I've talked to people on both sides of the coin, the people who've gotten broken up with and the person doing the breakup. I've coached people who were the rebound person that they acquired from someone else. And I've also coached people who actually wanted me to help I kid you not, they actually wanted me to help them stop from rebounding to someone else. And usually when someone gets to that point, it's already too late. They've already fallen out of love with the person that they were with. And this new person is just looking so much more enticing than trying to salvage the relationship. So at first, the person that's leaving, they feel a sense of power because they've made this decision. And they feel that they can always come back to where they left. When your ex feels like they no longer have that power, when they realize that, oh, this person isn't there to answer my calls or my text messages. I can't just stop by their house whenever I want. I can't just pop up at their job anymore. I can't rely on them. I can't ask them about changing my tire on my car because the new person that they're with, they haven't gotten to that level of trust and familiarity. They don't like it. They start to feel as if they made a mistake. And this is why you need to go no contact as quickly as possible. You have to show indifference as quickly as possible. Not saying that you don't want to show that you still care about them, but you will give them the line of, you know, I don't want to give up on this. I still want this relationship. And if you ever change your mind about us, if you ever feel like you made a mistake and I'm still single, we can go on a date again, because then it's going to have to rebuild. You don't get a skip to the line free pass simply because we had a history. Now you have to start all over again. If you ever fought for this and you weren't indifferent and you didn't say, you know what, you're right. I can tell you first thing from what I usually hear from them is, I didn't think the person took me serious. You know, when I said that I didn't want to be with them anymore, at that moment, I realized I was free to date. I was free to do whatever I wanted to do. And it's not my problem that they didn't believe me and they didn't take me seriously. I didn't stutter. I told them that I was done with this relationship and I didn't want to be with them anymore. And then is when they went and got into a rebound relationship. If you've ever fought and flopped and floundered around when they said that and didn't have the information about no contact and how you should utilize no contact, most likely you delayed that healing process for yourself. Most of the time when people break up, they have already gotten to the point where they no longer have any more feelings about that person, about that relationship, and they may have found someone else that they feel more connected to and gives them more of a dopamine release. I got a video talking about dopamine in relationships, how it shows up in the beginning. When it starts to fade is when they start to say, maybe this isn't a person for me anymore. Because all of the romantic gestures, the butterflies that I got in the beginning of this relationship, it's no longer there. So they start to equate that to you not being the person for them. They're wrong, because every relationship has their phases where, the feelings and the intensity starts to wane, but you have to be very intentional about keeping that spark alive. And when that dopamine starts to wane, they start to miss the familiarity that they had with you. I recently coached someone that was going through the same exact scenario. They were broken up for 6 months, and now they're on the mend, and they are starting to work things through and reconcile, actually. And this was interesting for me because I talk a lot about rebound relationships and should you take someone back, but I usually talk about it from a certain angle. right? It's trying to help people heal and move on from that relationship. And when I advise this person that this might be someone that you could consider having a relationship again with, because they've gone through the process and they've went through holidays without you, they realize that this decision that I made wasn't a comfortable decision. They've actually went out and tried to replace the person, and it was to no avail. So she was actually shocked that I said, maybe you should give this person another try. And here's the reasons why I said this. She went out and dated herself. She couldn't find anyone. This person had committed to doing therapy, to doing whatever he needed to do to make this relationship work in a healthy manner again. And he said that, I know this might hurt some people's ego, and they may feel like, all right, if a person, I've heard this over and over again. People say, if someone goes and sleeps with someone else, I'm done with them. I no longer ever want to be with them again. And I think that's kind of funny, because most people that you date, they have already been with someone else before they met you, right? So I think it's kind of funny that once a person sleeps with someone, they feel that they pretty much own that person and they no longer have the right to go do whatever they want on their own. And I get it if it's more of an ego thing, or if it's more of like a pride thing or a self-worth thing. You know, I see it coming from that angle. But to see people that really tries to run people through the mud because they went and they slept with someone else while you weren't in a relationship, it's crazy to me. Because I say, you know, when they broke up with you, you had all of the liberty to go out and do whatever you wanted to, but you decided not to, and that's your prerogative. If this is something that's a pattern for them, if they sleep with people and continuously come back, then this is just getting hall passes from you. And I'm not saying give someone a hall pass. What I am saying is, if they come back remorseful, if they say, you know, I couldn't replace you, this was the relationship that I always wanted, the other people wasn't bringing me fulfillment, you feel like home, and it happens once, okay, maybe give it another try. But to make someone feel ashamed to do whatever they want to do with their own body, it's just kind of crazy to me. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by the Rebound Journal. If you like this content, feel free to share it, like it. I appreciate you guys for always stopping by and giving really good feedback on my videos. Thank you guys again for that, and I will see you in the next video.